Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, DaVon. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. As tonight, I'm getting into a swing of things of on Monday Night Raw, as I'm doing a review for February 12th, 2024. As so much was going on, it was so impactful from start to finish. We ended up having comments from Cody Rhodes for the night. We ended up having so many matches on the card, including LA Knight taking on Ivar. We ended up having Bobby Lashley taking on the Big Bronson Reed. Also, in the qualifying match, we ended up having Liv Morgan taking on Zoe Starks in an impactful, quick match, but not too bad, not too shabby of a match. And also, we ended up having other plans to the follow up of Judgment Day, as R-Truth was taking on JD Madonna in a nice, quick, fashion match, which wasn't too bad whatsoever. And so much more was going on for the night. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, show your love, and show your support as we go ahead and get into the swing of things of tonight's professional wrestling. If you're a friend of professional wrestling, feel to share and show your love to anybody who's a part of the internet wrestling community. As I'm a new podcaster in the community, I appreciate you guys showing your time out your day and or your night from wherever you guys are posting up from. And let's go ahead and get into the swing of things for the night. Tonight's match was the opener. We ended up having a nice little banger. We ended up having New Day and Jay Uso taking on Imperium in a nice old-fashioned six-man tag team action. You couldn't ask for anything better, as this was straight to the top, straight forward, with nice chain wrestling moves. Imperium pretty much took over majority of the match in the old-fashioned same heel kind of style of just controlling majority of the match. The fans were really red hot tonight as things were going a nice little smooth transition as we ended up seeing Jay Uso get a nice hot tag, picking up the nice victory, and over Giovanni Vinci with a nice Uso splash, as it was a nice little hot transitions all throughout this whole entire match, including a nice dive by Kofi Kingston. And then also we see in the long run where we see seeing whereas Gunther is looking to make a redemption, as we also found out earlier tonight that Gunther will be taking on Jay Uso in a decent match coming up next week, as I'm looking forward to that match and I'm excited to see how they go about that. We know Gunther has been on a phenomenal reign from start to finish, and you couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to the ring general. Jay Uso, he's been pressing, he's been on a steamroll lately, still trying to keep find his momentum, find his place, and he's changing up his style a little bit. But the Yeet movement is continuing to go on a nice class course, as we will see what happens in the near future, as we're looking like WrestleMania. The fans are looking for that fantasy booking of Jimmy versus Jay Uso in the long run, but he's still on his road to his WrestleMania as well, as he continues to find his place as he takes on Gunther this following Monday Night Raw. For you guys tuning on from over on X or even on Twitter or coming over from YouTube or Facebook, appreciate you guys showing your love and support, as everything is always love when it comes to the internet wrestling community. You guys are always appreciated, and I appreciate you guys. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, feel free to comment down below. If you're on Twitter, feel free to click on the link and try to switch over to YouTube if you can and make the best of it from there. But all the while, let's get back into Monday Night Raw, which was a phenomenal card. We ended up having a recap of the Royal Rumble 40, not Royal Rumble, but WrestleMania 40 recap, which basically broke down everything that was going on between The Rock, Roman Reigns, and also from between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. They were doing a lot of highlight packages from tonight, showing a nice transition when it came to the match card. What it looked like with the rumors going on. The tag team match most likely probably will be taking place for WrestleMania 40 in the night one, which I don't know how fans feel about it. I would like to know from you guys' point of view. Do you guys want to see the tag team match, or we like to see it transition and make its way on the road to WrestleMania for Elimination Chamber, as we see The Rock make his phenomenal return into action? I know he's been working his way about making his return back into pro wrestling, having a couple of rings set up at his stationary homes, including the one in Hollywood, and of course the one in Hawaii as well, and a couple other transitional homes that he's been having on the long part. Moving along, we ended up having Bobby Lashley coming out directly from the ring for a recap with the Street Profits and B-Fly. This is a phenomenal team from start to finish. We don't know what their actual standard ring name is going to be for their actual stable, but it's looking like a nice presentation. The way they continue to keep the drums in the play for the entrance, and Bobby Lashley continue to be looking phenomenal as he continued to be on his course to WrestleMania, as well as he continue to go into that beef battle when it comes to the Final Testament. As you know, that's long-term booking when it comes to that group, and it's kind of a nice little addition for them to add B Flav to the mix of thing, and it's always amazing seeing how that comes about things. But also, if you're tuning in, feel free to throw a thumbs up. It don't take much to pretty much shit. Throw a thumbs up or share. But all the while, I appreciate you guys coming out a little bit at a time, even if you're not a fan of professional wrestling. If you know somebody who's into professional wrestling, feel free to share that to somebody who may be interested. For the most part, they go into a commercial break and then they come back and then they go to a video package of Andrade El Idolo, which was nice to see him coming back on his return. He made a statement directly that he talks about how his life was shown, and he has decided and talks about his love of the business and how WWE was his throughout his next steps, including from him winning the NXT Championship, the United Championship, but the titles weren't enough, and he had to leave to remember who he was. And now he's back, and he knows his direction is clear. As I am seeing from his point of view and prospect, he's going to be an awakening force, and I look to seeing how Andrade puts his forefront for the most part. I would like to see him being realigned with Zelina Vega. I feel like they're a great duo. I feel like he needs a bet. His English is getting better each and every single day, and I'm liking the way how he's coming about himself. But I would love for him to have a mouthpiece to help him in the long run to become better in his craft and help him for the most part through his journey in the WWE. Then they pan back to the match which was on the card, which was Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. This was heads-on, hard-hitting match. This was meat on meat action when it came to Bobby Lashley's power versus Bronson Reed's bronze strength and basically just thickness all around when it comes to this match. This match was hard-hitting from start to finish. Where this one was okay, went a solid of 14 minutes, was pretty presentable and pretty decent from my own hot take. And I really enjoyed this match from my own personal opinion. They did a nice little couple of nice high spots. They kept the fans invested. The fans actually there tonight were chanting "This is awesome," which kind of kept them invested, and they pretty much enjoyed it. You couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to these two big men have already had a chemistry in the past, as they had a feud that was over the United States Championship 2 years ago, and it's been a long time since we've seen them get back into the mix of things and making things work. And Bobby Lashley ended up picking up the victory with the spear, and he ended up moving along and qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. And then the upcoming month with the IFC, Bobby Lashley continue to keep that momentum. But also in the win, he's going to be dominant throughout the Elimination Chamber. We know his power, his strength, and how he presents himself, and he's always been great when it comes to the deliverance and how he does things directly. Bobby Lashley is one of my all time men that I see who's going to go far, but I don't see him taking the cake and taking a W. My prospect of seeing who will win that Elimination Chamber most likely will probably be Drew McIntyre, who's been on a hot streak lately, getting a nice heel push, and he'd probably be the one to be the win in the wind of going to battle with Seth Rollins in the near future for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But we shall see what happens. I would like to know you guys' take from which match was your favorite for the night. If you feel like that match was pretty decent, pretty chill, I'd like to know your hot take. If you haven't still watched Raw night, I highly recommend for you guys to check out that show tonight from start to finish. You would not be highly disappointed, and you couldn't ask for anything better. They ended up going to a recap of Drew McIntyre attack last week from Cody Rhodes last week. Well, Cody Rhodes took a nice little beatdown and everything like that, and from there, we're seeing this continuous feud as things continue to transition left and right when it comes to Cody Rhodes is still on his path to finish the story, as he has chosen Roman Reigns as his main man that he's going to challenge this coming up WrestleMania in 2 months' time, as he's looking to finish the story and finally knock off Roman Reigns, who has been steamrolling through everybody, being undefeated for nearly almost 4 years with the championship. And you couldn't ask for a bigger one, as pretty much at this point, the story is getting kind of old when it comes to Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes has to be that one to capitalize and take the championship directly off of Roman Reigns, who have been dominant because there's nobody left pretty much to handle that and be serious when it comes to that. There's some talent I have in my dreams that I think could be possible, but I just don't think like they're going to go with that direction. Hunter has been doing a phenomenal job with the booking and doing a little swerve so far, including with the swerve with the WrestleMania, as we thought Cody was going to be a punk throughout the whole entire segment, with The Rock coming back and challenging Roman Reigns. But then things transitioned smoothly when we saw that Cody Rhodes is going to challenge Roman Reigns, and we're going to end up having a tag team match as Rock ended up turning heel, kayfabe, into coming back into pro wrestling, being Hollywood Rock, which we loved Hollywood Rock back in 2002. He was phenomenal all the way to 2003 when he was that nice face. His on-point promos was on point, and then he also knew how to get under the fan's skin when it comes to being a transitional great heel. Um, that's one of my hot take when it comes to The Rock directly offhand. And Roman Reigns has been doing a phenomenal job as well as being a heel as well. The fans are kind of like getting over the help that he's been getting when it comes to the bloodline. And they're keeping the championship directly on him. It's kind of like getting old because everybody loses their attention span very quickly when it comes to different things that are going on. They want everything now at a fast pace, but they're still keeping that long term booking, as this has been a long time we had a champion keep the championship for this long in the era since Hulk Hogan and Bruno Sammartino for the most part. Then we switch over to an interview with Sami Zayn, who's in a nice earlier interview from earlier and this following afternoon. And then he talked about that he wasn't going to give up, but then he was interrupted by Shinsuke Nakamura, who basically said he compares him to Cody Rhodes and says that he'd love to see his true self in the ring later on tonight. So my hot take is that was going to be the main event of tonight's showcase. And they put on a clinic, and you couldn't go wrong when it comes to Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. They have a great chemistry. Nakamura made his debut in WWE and NXT, taking on Sami Zayn. So they have a nice little backstory of long-term booking, and they get along fairly well when it comes to how to balance, where to put the nice transitional moves, the signatures, and everything else just flow fluently, flawlessly with no problem directly. Then they head over to commercial break, and they come back again, still hyping up this WrestleMania. This year is being hyped up fairly more, very, very fluently throughout this whole entire night. They've been showing recap after recap after recap, including with Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. They also showing The Rock again, Roman Reigns, and then that whole fall off with The Rock slapping Cody Rhodes. They're really trying to get as much attention and media buzz when it comes to this following WrestleMania 40. But of course, I'm going to be glued on to see what happens directly there in Philadelphia. And I look forward to seeing what happens for this following WrestleMania coming up in April. Then we head back to another span. They switched over to another backstage interview with the New Day and Jey Uso. As the interviewer is backstage, she talks about that Jey Uso will be getting a championship match with Gunther. Jey Uso gets excited. He got his new glasses on with the whole little setup with his new outfit with the Yeet movement going on. And he's looking, he said he's excited and he's looking forward to seeing it going into that match next following week. So he was having a nice little celebration with the New Day, but he needs to get back on the road and be serious because Gunther is a hard challenge to the throne as the Intercontinental Champion. I love the way how the Gunther has been being a phenomenal champion. He's been having a championship over at least a year plus more, and he's been doing a great job as bringing prestige back into the championship for the Intercontinental Championship, as it took a big, large back seat for the long run. And I'm kind of glad to see how things have been turned out directly for Gunther in the long run. Gunther needs his flowers, and I think he's been doing such a great job as being the champion. I'd like to know you guys' take if you're watching tonight. Post it down below. I'd like to know from you guys' own personal view. Also, we ended up having to the next match. We ended up having Liv Morgan taking on Zoe Starks in an elimination qualifying match. This match was pretty good, pretty decent, solid, straight, fast pace, straight to the point. Liv Morgan, it was nice seeing her making her return. Of course, she's going through her phase, is looking to get revenge directly on Rhea Ripley after being taken out. And then they also did a little highlight package earlier throughout the day when they showed her accolades, including her women, the SmackDown Women's Championship, the Money in the Bank, and also the Tag Team Championship. So she says she's not looking for gold, but I think she needs to slowly making her way back and just refocus herself, start racking up the wins, and then go from there. As she's looking to get revenge on Rhea Ripley after being taken out such a long time, and it's great to see her back in the win, the things, and going from there. She picked up the victory in a nice, decent match with Oblivion, and she ended up qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. She's always doing fairly well when it comes to the elimination. She's been in a few so far. I believe she's been in two of them so far, and she's always know how to bring those nice little high spots and bring the energy to the crowd. And also when it comes to her doing those nice little jump transitional moves directly from the top ropes. So we shall see how she fades into the elimination chamber and how she get herself out and about. But I don't see her picking up the W when it comes to elimination chamber. My hot pick is probably going to end up being Becky Lynch. I see her picking up the W, and then she's going to end up facing Rhea Ripley. That's just looks like the best card right there on the map. For the Women's World Heavyweight Championship is Becky versus Rhea Ripley, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that match for WrestleMania. Of course, Rhea's going to have a stepping stone, a bulldozer in her way. She's going to get in the ring with Nia Jax. The way how they really have been booking her for this following return has been really great. Nia Jax really has been standing around. She's been really nitpicking. She really knows how to get under the fans' skin. And they really have really made her a little bit dominant, and they kind of moved away from her glory hole days. If you haven't seen that, that's kind of like a little recap to go check that out. But they really have been doing a phenomenal, great job when it comes to how they really have been presenting her, making her feel dominant, and then everything else has been going on from there. So we shall see what happens in the long run as things continue to pick up in this coming up on Elimination Chamber, as Nia Jax is looking to challenge Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion, Rhea Ripley, which I think Rhea may be coming up on top, and that will be phenomenal to see win a showcase just for a short little quick match. Moving on, R-Truth. He's in the backstage segment with the Judgment Day. This R-Truth continues to be the glue when it comes to keeping us highly invested into the Judgment Day, and his antics have been working flawlessly to keep us laughing. He's always have that longevity of keeping us entertained. He even also knows how to make most superstars break characters, and he has been working his magic every single time that you see him back there. Even when some superstars be trying to be super serious, R-Truth knows how to break them out of it really quickly. He knows how to where the right spot and knows what to say directly. And also the WWE management really has been doing a phenomenal job letting him actually be fluently and just be himself and be silly with it. And he's been doing ruckshot when it comes to long-term booking directly when it comes to the Judgment Day. I know they've been struggling just a little bit, but they're getting back on the swing of things. And things really got kind of serious backstage when R-Truth still was trying to be jokey when it came to things. And then when he wrote to JD Madonna and he notified JD he needs to come to reality that he's not a part of the Judgment Day. And of course, Damian Priest came right directly into R-Truth's face and told him, and basically just gave him a straight reality check, straight to the point. He says, "You're not a part of the Judgment Day. They had some fun times, but he's not nowhere. He's no way, no shape or form part of the Judgment Day. And tonight is going to be execution and straight fashion, straight up. He was straight serious about it, poised about it. I'm loving the direction what they're going with Damian Priest as they're trying to make him a little bit more of a serious champion. But we know that tensions have kind of faded away a little bit with the Judgment Day of them breaking up. But they're looking strong right now with Damian Priest in the forefront of being straight serious, straight stone face, and everything else went from there as they transitioned towards their theme music, and they ended up coming for an entrance as Judgment Day directly was coming to the ring. And then I believe they panned the way directly to the commercial break afterwards. And then they came back from commercial break, and then R-Truth was in the backstage. The gorilla position was using his phone, was trying to get a hold of the Miz, as he was still being jokey. He was like, "Hey, how do I get a one-way ticket flight from Hollywood to directly out here in Kentucky?" And that was kind of a little funny segment when it came to R-Truth. But of course, we ended up having Adam Pierce coming out there and letting him know, "Hey, Truth, your match is on." He kept trying to get his attention, but our Truth just was not hearing it. He was just trying to get his phone call in, and that was like a little funny segment until Adam Pierce basically threw him out there, and then our Truth's theme came on as he was slowly walking his way from the gorilla position, and he had a soft face as he had to go down there and seal his fate as he had to go in the battle with Judgment Day. The match kicked off pretty strong off the back. JD Madonna really was controlling majority of the match. It was a nice transitional moves, and then of course R-Truth ended up going back and forth with each other with some nice high spots. And then he ended up hitting the attitude adjustment, and then doing a couple of little shoulder blocks. But it just wasn't enough as JD Madonna was on serious mode as he finally picked up his first victory. It was a long time coming, but now this is his first victory solidly into 2024 as JD is still looking to find his own and his personality, but he's still kind of like serious found, kind of like some of our past folks like Lance Storm or Chris Candido, who has been more so serious for the forefront. Post match, they ended up beating down R-Truth. R-Truth was doing everything he can to avail them, including basically just bobbing and weaving, acting like Muhammad Ali, and doing everything until he ran into Damian Priest, and Damian Priest knocked him out cold. They ended up stomping him out, and then we ended up hearing the theme of DIY, who came out with chairs and made their way directly into the ringside. And Judgment Day evaded the ring and basically cowardly walked away back up the entrance ramp, as things looking to pick up between DIY, R-Truth, and the Miz. Most likely, from my personal opinion, I feel like the Miz was the one to call him, and everything else went smooth from there. As they did eventually later in the night announce that it was going to be in the 8-man tag, which will be R-Truth, DIY, and the Miz taking on Judgment Day, which is going to be a slow pace, but at the same time, it's going to be good for television, as you can't go wrong when it comes to this long-term booking. As R-Truth is now in the wings of things, and he got a little backup to help him out when it comes to the Judgment Day. Then they pan over to Cody Rhodes. Again, Cody Rhodes is really getting the hot takes of things, and they really just showing us they love the Cody. Cody's really getting a lot of attention throughout the majority of the night, as he ended up walking up to Sami Zayn, and they had a nice little conversation directly with each other, and everything just went fluently. As Cody Rhodes basically addressed it to him, and he says, "Thank him for having his back." And then Sami Zayn said, "Yeah, I think you were doing the same back in return." And then he says, he told Sami that he believes in him, and more importantly, the fans believe in him. And they ended up hugging, then they ended up cutting away from the actual segment directly in the back. So it was like short and sweet, straight to the point. They really are becoming really close to each other, and they really have a great bond and a friendship as they continue to work with each other, feuding with the bloodline most likely, and going from there, because we don't know where Sami Zayn will be in the near future when it comes to if he's going to continue to work with WWE or he's looking to make his future endeavors. But he's still in the hot seat as to where he may end up being in the long run. Then they ended up panning back to the ring for a Becky Lynch segment, which is a decent promo. She ended up coming down to the ring. The fans were singing along to her song. And then, of course, they went to break, but they ended up coming back, hyping up again. So many different things with the video package of everything, Becky Lynch's career and everything. Then they also did another commercial package when it came to the Kansas City Chiefs ended up winning the Super Bowl championship. Congratulations to the 2024 champions, as they presented them with a WWE Undisputed Universal Championship for them for doing such a phenomenal job. But of course, Patrick Mahomes was carrying the Undisputed Championship with the side plates that ended up having the Kansas City Chiefs logo directly on it. So again, congratulations to them for winning the championship. The game was phenomenal, and you couldn't ask for anything better when it came to that. Moving back towards the ring, they ended up having Becky Lynch there her promo was straightforward. She talked about a whole bunch of different topics, including missing out on so many different moments, including moments with her family, missing birthdays, weddings, her kids, even her own father's funeral, even her only daughter, 3 year old's birthday as well. Is a difficult conversation with her, but she's successfully getting the title back, and she hasn't held one in almost 2 years. And she's looking to become one of the most dominant champions we ever had around here. So basically, she's looking to take on Rhea Ripley, who's been red shot on everybody, steamrolling through everybody, being her in her own, holding the championship proudly. The prestiginess of the championship have been phenomenal and great when it comes to the way how they have represented Rhea Ripley. And now with her being a little bit more serious and focused, we're seeing a direction where it's most likely going to be Rhea Ripley taking on Becky Lynch. Then, of course, she ended up talking to us a little bit more about the promo, everything that's going on, including the road to WrestleMania. And then she ended up having a drink as well. And then also, we ended up having an interruption from Nia Jax, who ended up coming down, doing her own little talk, her own promo, trash talking. But that was short lived until Rhea Ripley came down directly to the ring, and she was on serious business. She was steamrolling directly to the ring and went into a straight battle. Well, basically just not a battle, but more so like a little small brawl out with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley in the long run. And then, of course, she ended up showing her display of dominance by splashing both ladies in the corner, but everything else continued to go there from a little couple brawl between her and Rhea. And then Becky Lynch was able to take advantage with a drop kick, sending Nia Jax out the ring. And then you pan to both ladies in the ring celebrating with the fans as they looking on to continue to be serious as they looking for the near future brawl with Nia Jax. I'd like to know you guys' hot take when it comes to that women's feud. Do you think that it should be a triple threat match leading up to Mania, or do you think it should just be one on one with Nia Jax, not Nia Jax, but more so Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, and just a showcase of the morals in the women's division, continue to keep everything running smoothly and fluently, and you can't go wrong with that whatsoever. Um, Moving forward, they ended up going back to another backstage segment with Drew McIntyre. He ended up doing his talking of a promo about everything that was going on, and he had a lot to say. He had a short little bit to say. He said he said Cody Rhodes is selfish and he is the underdog here, and he had to beat AJ Styles last week just to qualify for one of the most dangerous matches in WWE for the Elimination Chamber. And he says he has to have with the wing things and get back into the swing of things as he begs for Cody Rhodes himself out of a match for next week, and then everything else from there as he continued to show things with Sami Zayn with beef and then Cody Rhodes. So he continued to work on his path to getting the match when it comes to being in the main event for WrestleMania as he looking to take on Seth Rollins, but he has the obstacles in the way and to go from there. Since that CM Punk is currently out with an injury, he's the only front runner to be the one that may be taking on Seth Rollins for this following up WrestleMania. Then they come back to a commercial break, and LA Knight's music hits. He comes directly down, and then of course he's doing this interesting. Then they show a little video package of R-Truth thinking DIY, and he said thank them for the save. And Truth calls them DX, which is kind of a little funny segment from R-Truth's point of view. He said, "Hey, thanks for the save, Triple H and Shawn Michaels." And then Johnny Gargano said, "Yeah, I feel like I'm a sexy boy." And then everything else went from there. But he said he got 2 words from him, and he said, "Thank you." And then they panned, and then that was good for that segment there as they panned back into the ring as LA Knight's music was still playing in the forefront with the fans, but during the video package, you didn't see that whatsoever. And then we end up having Ivar's music coming on as he was accompanied by Valhalla, which was a great little transitional singles match. LA Knight really was over with the crowd tonight, and he continued to find his forefront where he would challenge. I think he'll be a great challenge to take on either not Logan. Yeah, Logan Paul basically in a match, and I think that will be a great from the United States Championship, as I think he will be a great person to take the title off, or even if they make the switch and a cross promotion to take on Gunther, I think that LA Knight will be the perfect person for either one of those championships to start off and see how he does when it comes to holding the championship. We know he's done well in other promotions, including TNA and Impact and everything in between as being the main man. But I'd like to see how he does when it comes to WWE and how WWE may be filling him out in the long run. But this match was pretty good from start to finish, including a couple of wheelbarrows directly from Ivar, including a couple of spots, including one directly when they did a nice little transitional suplex and a couple other moves, and then including LA Knight hitting this nice DDT. And then, of course, with Ivar hitting a nice, decent black hole slam and for the 2 count. And then, of course, he was going for the top ropes, going for that moonsault, and ended up missing. And LA Knight ended up picking up the victory by picking up the victory with the BFT, the blood force trauma, for the 1, 2, 3. And ended up beating Ivar, which Ivar has been coming into his own, and he's been really showing us what he can do in singles action. And it's been kind of great to see what Ivar has done. And then LA Knight continued to rack up the wins. He's on a collision course to continue to find his next feud and where he lands. And LA Knight has been phenomenal when it comes to how things have been running directly with him in the long run. Then they hand over to a backstage segment with Adam Pearce, who's chatting with Candice LeRae. Indy Hartwell and Chelsea Green rushes in during the segment, and she starts talking about how there's a qualifying match and she's not in, and she really says she wants to talk to management and upper management. And then Adam Pearce reassured I am management. I will look under consideration. It's a hard decision who to pick, but he will make his final decision once everything runs smoothly from there. And we shall see this following Friday as who will be involved into that last chance battle royal to be part of the Elimination Chamber. And there's so many hot take of women who may be making a return back. And I see a lot of people who may be making a return as well as Raquel Gonzalez. I think she may be one of those surprise entrants that may come back. But we also have a couple other people who may be at the forefront, including Shotzi, Bianca, and so forth. So we shall see what happens in the long run when it comes to the Women's Elimination Chamber this following Friday, who will qualify and have those women set up to maybe headline WrestleMania and taking on Rhea Ripley in the long run. Then we planned over to the main event of the night. The main event of the night was Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. These boys both put on a phenomenal clinic. They really have a great chemistry, the way how they mesh very well together. You couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to how Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. Once again, Nakamura was his debut opponent when he took on Sami, and they really messed well together with the chain wrestling, with the traditional moves, the suplexes, including that phenomenal Blue Thunder Bomb, and other moves in between. And then, of course, we ended up having an interference by Drew McIntyre distracting Sami, and Sami ended up falling defeat by the Kinshasa for the loss as Sami Zayn looked to be on top from there as everything continued to run fluently. Then afterwards, they ended up having a post-match beatdown, which they ended up stomping out Sami Zayn. And then Cody Rhodes made the save, and he came down directly to the ring. He ended up hitting a Cody Cutter on Drew McIntyre and a Crossroads on Shinsuke Nakamura. Everything went smooth from there as the fans were highly into this. They continued to push Cody as being the full face and branding of WWE. But through the whole night, we start seeing a whole lot of packages directly from Cody Rhodes directly. And so he's looking like he's going to be the man in the long run. And you can't ask for anything better. But all the while, I'm going to keep this nice, short, and sweet. You guys are always appreciated for coming through and showing your love. Don't forget to post your comments down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share for some love. And also, if you're over on YouTube, feel free to click the link down below and show your love on YouTube and be a subscriber. As I'm heading towards my road to 100 subscribers. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful night, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Until then, y'all stay blessed. Peace.